Hello, the internet, and welcome back to another episode of Dbacks Dispatch. We are your hosts, Brandon and Gabriel. Brett is off on assignment today, so he won't be here, but hopefully he's here on Sunday to recap the upcoming Dodger series. But today we are going to be recapping the successful-ish Milwaukee Brewers series. They at least tied the series in this series specifically. But I want to welcome everyone in here. If this is your first time joining us, click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss another episode. If you're listening to us after the fact on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please give us a like, a review, and subscription. Um, yeah, and if you're on Twitter, if you're on Discord, TikTok, Instagram, we're everywhere at Dbacks Dispatch. Make sure to also read the written articles on AZ Snake Pits. Now, let's get into it. Like Scott Mack is just saying right now, it's a gutty series split. And those were my thoughts for the most part about this series. I felt that this was a very ugly series, but we have mentioned it before that good teams win ugly, and the D-backs won two really ugly games. But before I give my thoughts on it, I just want to go and ask you, Brandon, what were your thoughts on the series? How did you feel coming into it? How do you feel coming out of it? Do you like? I know you mentioned that we probably should have taken the actual series itself, but overall, what are your thoughts on how the D-backs played in the series?
It'd be nice if we had starting pitching. It really would be really nice. And that's really kind of what my point was. Like, if either Erod or Fott has a decent outing, or we have bullpen that can be relied on, I think we take 3 or 4. I think we win on Tuesday, without a doubt. Um, but unfortunately, we didn't. I said on our last episode that it's probably going to be a split, or I would be fine with a split because of the pitching matchups. Like I saw Erod was going, and like Fought. I don't know what's going on with like. There's a lot of people that are already jumping off the bandwagon saying he's not deserving of the extension. I think that's a little much. Like it's a pretty long extension. Um, but it just showed, like, for everyone that was saying weeks ago that Toy lost his clubhouse, this series, to me, shows these guys still play hard for him because they are still technically, they could make a wild card. It's not out of the realm of possibility, like mathematically, they they can. It's just they need a lot of help, and the fact is they can't. They they go on a 3 game winning streak and then they go back on a 3 game losing streak. Then they go back on a 3 game winning streak. Like it's been like that all year because we've talked about if this team can go on a run winning 8 of 10, 12 of 13, like we can really see what they can do. They've yet to do that. I think the longest winning streak is like 5 or 6 games this year, and
Yeah.
but then they'll follow that up with a 3 game losing streak, which basically completely undoes, or yeah, that's probably not a word, but I don't care. What they did, but the same. Perdomo just keeps stepping up, man. Like he has taken. Like I thought that he would make a sizable leap in his play this year because it's what he's done every year. I did not expect this. He's at what 85 RBI on the year now. Like he is 87. He's at 87. It's not even September 1st. So I think that 100 runs driven in is most likely because he gets like 2 or 3 every series. So for everyone that was like clowning the Dimebacks, why would you sign Perdomo to an extension? Who's this guy? He's fourth in offensive WAR in all of Major League Baseball, by the way.
Yeah, he's just been incredible. I mean, he is closing in on the 2020 season as well. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
think there's 22 games left in the season. Very possible we can get an extra four home runs in that
5.
time frame. Didn't he hit 16 when the one he hit yesterday?
No,
16
that was 15 yesterday.
was it? Oh, it was 15. Yeah, um, but yeah, just I mean, 5 in 22 games. I mean, it's gonna be a little difficult, but I feel like maybe if they get to the end of the last weekend, last week or so, if they are completely out of it, I can see him probably just swinging for the fences, just trying to get some of those numbers. I believe he's at 23 or so stolen bases as well, so it would be a huge leap forward for him compared to how he was last season and the season before that. We saw it in spurts in 22 and in 23 or 23 and 24, sorry, where he started off really, really good. He was batting like 270, 280, even 300, and then he just fell off a steep cliff in the second half of the season. So far, he hasn't done that. If anything, he's gotten better as the season has gone on, and we've compared him so much to Juan Soto, but without the power. And if you look at their numbers, I mean, Juan Soto is just ridiculous. He has well over 100 walks. Like his on base is just stupid. But um,
I think with him at this point, there's a lot of teams that just pitch around him, and he is completely content with taking walks. And I think we've seen that a little bit with Perdomo lately. Like, there's been a few times where like they would rather face whoever's behind them, whether that's Carroll or Marte, because they're
yeah,
like, we can't give him anything to hit because he will dunk it right over the shortstop. Like he's just, yeah, he is, he's so good. But again, like, there's a lot of people that still have no idea who he is.
yeah, yeah. It's just that's kind of one of the unfortunate things. I mean, we'll get into it after this, but let me recap, and then we'll jump into Perdomo and everything he's done so far this season. But I'll start off with the game one. In game one, it was Erod. He started off this game. I mean, we were all like just try to recreate what he did these last few outings. Just get close. If he gives up 4 runs in 5 or 6 innings, at least gives the team a chance to win. But he didn't do that at all. I mean, he gave up so many runs in quick succession. I mean, he got to what 3 innings,
Nope.
two in the third.
Yeah,
Not even 3 innings. He
yeah.
pitched two in the third and just could not get out of that third inning. Just got the one out and just really put this team into a hole like right away. He gave up 5 earned runs, and when you give up 5 earned runs, especially that early in the game, third inning, you put your team so far behind. Not just offensively, but even pitching wise. Like we saw what Jarvis did, and we're going to talk about Jarvis as well. The great job he did. Jarvis, I mean, for the most part, 5 2/3, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts. That was a really, really great outing by Jarvis, but unfortunately, he had to be perfect. He had to go, pitch the rest of the game with no earned runs, and to give this team a chance to win, like he really couldn't do. He couldn't give up anything, and the team ended up losing. That was the difference. They scored 5 runs, and the Brewers scored 7. Two of them came off of Jarvis, and 5 came off of Erod. But some notes on this game. Gurriel moves into third all time for RBIs in a single month in Dbacks history. He's at 32, behind Gonzo's 35 and JD Martinez 36. So he is closing in. He has 3 days, a couple more RBI to go, and he might make history at least for the Diamondbacks. Could even make a run out of the Player of the Month as well. Erod just less than 3 innings, 2 1/3, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 6 straight hits as well. Some of those hits weren't very hard either. That's something we've mentioned about Erod. Just a lot of times, it just seems like he gets unlucky, just little bloopers and stuff
Two
like that. But
strikes. Every single one of those hits was with two strikes.
2 strikes, just
That drives me nuts. Like Brett, like walks drive him nuts. Me, it's when you get two strikes and you
yeah, you have him
cannot.
right there and just can't put him away.
Oh my god,
But
it drives me
Jarvis,
nuts.
Jarvis did the dirty work. He went 5 2/3, gave up 2 runs. So shout out to Jarvis. He did a really great job, especially because we've talked about him a little bit, having like an 80 ERA in Reno. You know, whatever they saw in him in this case, I mean, it seems to be really working for him, at least at the major league level for now. In game two, another loss, 8-9. Brandon Fott, just absolute disaster class. He went 2 2/3, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, and I believe opposing batters have a 280 batting average against Brandon Fott for the season. Like, just his regression is so bad. Just that fastball is just giving him nothing. Has a high spin rate, but he just kind of has no command over it. Just leaves it over the zone way too much for it to be as effective as it should be. But the D-backs actually did make a comeback. They overcame a 6-run deficit. They're able to tie it. Then I believe they even took the no, they were able to tie it in the eighth. They went 8-8
Yeah.
going into the ninth. Couldn't get anything done in the ninth, unfortunately. And then Murillo just really, really struggled. I mean, for the most part, he had been really good since coming back from Reno and off of the IL, but this last couple of outings, he just has not been. He's just not been it. I believe it was you call him Luis Frias. Just
Brett did.
uh, oh,
Brett.
Brett.
Yeah. I mean,
he
I agree 100%
I
that he
mean, he
is.
has this. He has the stuff. I mean, the movement, the speed, everything is there. He's just unfortunately not ready for the major leagues. And I think any other season, if this team was actually competitive and they had a lot of the bullpen arms still healthy, Murillo probably would just get called up in September, maybe just a spot here and there. But he clearly isn't ready just yet. But I believe he might have been like Rule 5 eligible after the season or something. So maybe that's why they brought him up as well. So just to get him up here. But, you know, it was what it was. You know, he struggled tonight. He gave a hit and then 2 walks. Then they brought him back as to attempt to at least maybe get a double play, see how things could go, and then it was just a little blooper, and then they ended up losing. I mean, it was a heartbreaker, but again, this is the best team in baseball. Like this was bound to happen, but then Game 3 happened, and it was just we mentioned we want to talk about ugly. This was an ugly game. This was a game where I was just like scratching and clawing the sofa, basically just digging my nails in. Just how crazy it was. But Blaze and Perdomo both hit a home run. Blaze hit a 2-run home run, and Perdomo hit a solo
Barely.
home run.
By the way,
It was a wall scraper,
that I don't care. It counts, but
but they all count the
wow.
same. If they're going to count, all those home runs at Yankee Stadium that go 315 feet, we can count this one. Ryan Nelson also had a great outing. He went 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run. I mean, there was a point where it seemed like maybe he was struggling a little bit, but he was able to overcome that and just was able to get through this team, fighting chance for especially with how terrible and how many innings the bullpen had to pitch for the other 2 games. Then Saalfrank came in, Big Dick Saalfrank came in, got the 5-out save. Just absolutely disgusting. He's so incredibly clutch. And with an 89-mile-per-hour fastball, but I mean, that thing just has so much movement. He has such good command that he can make it work. And then today, Game 4, Chris Matt, the freaking Merrill Kelly reincarnated. He came in
That
and he
change up, man.
pitched a great game with that changeup.
Yeah.
5 1/3, 8 hits, 4 runs, but only 2 were earned. 2 of those runs came off of a Blaze Alexander error. So when it was 4 runs, it was 2 earned. D-backs runners in scoring position this series, they're a lot better. They actually scored quite a few runs. They're 12 for 38. That's a 316 batting average. In game 1, they went 3 for 5. Game 2, that was kind of a little bit more of the issue.
That's what was
5
weird
for
when I saw
15.
this.
Then game 3, 2 for 4. Game 4, I mean, this was just a frustrating game because they put up 6 runs in the first couple of innings, and after that, they were just completely shut down. Just could not do anything in this game today. They went 2 for 14 with runners in scoring position. So I mean, they were there the entire game, just could not bring anybody home. Alec Thomas actually had a really great series overall. He went 7 for 16 in the month of August. He's batting 297. 309, 418 for 727 OPS. And then Rashi, also just absolutely dropped dick on the Brewers today. And he went 3 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and just an absolutely gutsy performance by him. I mean, when I saw him coming out for the ninth, I'm like, I mean, go off, King. We'll see. We're either gonna regret it or not. I did kind of like the fact that both Pat Murphy and Torrey kind of had that I would say like almost like a gentleman's agreement towards the end where they both kind of just gave a couple of long relievers their shot. Myers went 3 and 3 1/3, and McGee went 2 innings. And with the Diamondbacks, it was Beeks. Beeks, I mean, he just got the 1 out after Chris Matt, and then Rashi went to 3 innings. So it was kind of like a weird gentleman's agreement between them to not burn a bunch of bullpen guys, even though you probably could have with the way this game was going and with the small lead. Um, but we mostly, I guess, kind of want to focus on Perdomo, at least in this series or for now. But kind of want to acknowledge the chat. I want to say hello to Scott Mack, to Disruptive. I believe Justin is here. Charles Elliott, and Corbin Barrows. I want to say what's up to all you guys. I hope you guys are here. Um, but actually, I want to, instead of talking about Perdomo, I do want to talk about Locklear. Locklear, I mean, I feel like we're beating a dead horse, but the reason why we do have to talk about him is because there is some you know, unfortunate news. Pavin Smith actually had a pretty decent series overall. He had a couple doubles and then a single.
As soon as we tweet how bad he's doing, he's
Yeah,
back to back two
I
hit
mean, I
games.
was just hoping that we could, jinx him a little bit, but luckily we were able to jinx him. So he did good, but then had a quad strain. I believe that was the official diagnosis for now. He did fly to Arizona to check if maybe it's gonna be a elongated IL stand if he's coming back at all. Rosters are expanding in a few days from now, so we'll see where that goes. But as of right now, the job is Locklear's, and just what are your thoughts on Locklear? I mean, he struggled in this series. He got on base because he got hit in the hand, I believe, after he just like threw the bat 150 feet. So
Yeah.
I know you mentioned that you think maybe he's lacking confidence, and I usually disagree. I think sometimes people just aren't that good, but I think with Locklear it is the confidence. Like this guy cannot make up his mind at all what he's going to hit. But
That's my thing with him.
do
That's
you
why I think it's confidence is the amount of check swings that he has.
do you
Is
think going forward, like, well, first, I guess, what are your thoughts about the fact that Pavin Smith might be down maybe for a few weeks, maybe for the season? And how confident are you in Locklear doing this job? Do you think they're going to call up a first baseman, or do you think they're going to bring in Blaze or someone to take that spot?
so it just depends on if this team is really trying to make up 7 games in a month, which is incredibly difficult. So difficult. Like if they want to try, I I would rather at this point because I think we've seen a decent. I would rather send Locklear back down to Reno, which I don't actually. I think their season's pretty much done, so that may not do anything. He just needs at bats to gain his confidence back. Like I truly think that's what it is. Like, and it sucked today because he had a homer. He had a homer today, and I was like, that could have been it, but he gets robbed, and I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god! Like it was a great play by Perkins, by the way.
Hmm.
Fantastic robbery, like completely textbook. So, um, I I think it depends on what the severity of Pavin's injury is with his quad. Like, is it something that he can kind of rest for a couple of days, maybe this weekend, and then or are they just going to put him on the 10-day IL and call somebody up? Because you cannot have only one first baseman on the roster. Yes, I know James McCann did play first base on Tuesday. I when I saw that, I'm like, oh my lord, please, please no. And we brought it up several times. I don't know if they're doing it in between games, before games, but as Scott brings it up, ADC. Are they like? Is that something that they want to do, or do they want him strictly to be DH? Which I think in today's MLB, you got to be able to play another position if you're gonna DH. Like, there's only certain guys that should be DH only. Jock Peterson, Kyle Schwarber, who had a 4 homer game today. You don't want to see those guys in the field. You don't. But they need to make that decision with ADC because he is not a backup catcher. He just isn't. He is such a liability behind the plate. So either you have him DH every game or you have him learn first base. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping they're maybe working with him. I don't think I've seen any reports that he like because I know there was a report like a couple weeks ago that James McCann was taking grounders at first base. Even Gurriel, like at the beginning of August, like there was the report that he was taking grounders at first. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that one. Um, Cause yeah,
Yeah,
but I think for now they're gonna stick with Locklear. Now, tomorrow that could change. I'm pretty sure AJ Vukovic can play first base, so that could be one of the potential call ups that they
and
do.
I believe
Either
he's also a Rule 5 guy as well, so they got to bring him up or they might lose him in the offseason.
and he's had a really good year in the minors too. Like he is tearing the cover, but again, it's the PCL, so you, sometimes with certain offensive players, you got to take that with a grain of salt. Like it may not be as good. Like if they have a really high OPS, it may just
Yeah, the
I'm
main
like
thing you got to look at the when it comes to the PCL is the walk rate. I think walk to strikeout rates are the most important parts of the PCL. Like usually the best guys to come out of there usually have the very low, 20%, and then 10+% walk rate. Usually the guys who, I mean, you can have a 1200 OPS in the PCL and it just might not translate to the major leagues. I mean, we've seen it so many times with so many guys like Seth Beer, Paven, even Jared Kelnick, even I think had like an 11 or 1200 OPS in the PCL. It just has not been able to translate just because of how offensive heavy those it is there. And with Locklear, and like again, this was someone that we talked about when he was traded here about how I didn't feel excited for him at all, just because I saw that near 30% strikeout rate, just didn't really walk a lot, not a lot of power, not a lot of slug or even on base skills on there. He just had a good July, so it kind of inflated some of the really bad underlying metrics that he had. Um, I believe his expected batting average was like 230 or something like that, and he was like at 260 because of the way it was able to go up in July. And again, he's getting all the reps possible. I mean, that's not to say that he can't turn into a great major leaguer the way we've seen with some other guys like Christian Walker or even Paul Goldschmidt. But with Christian
want to know
Walker, I
what
mean,
his expected batting average is now.
what is it?
163. He's batting like 178, so it's pretty
Yeah,
much the
170.
same.
So basically, yeah, I mean, he went down to exactly where he was expected to be. Right now, he has 73 at bats. He's batting 178, 2 home runs, 5 RBI,
Yeah,
a 528 OPS. I mean, I think that's lower than Jose Herrera did. Like, that's just how bad Locklear has been, and it's just. I mean, like Scott is saying, it makes perfect sense why the M's didn't want Locklear, why they're willing to give him up. I mean,
no.
yeah, and that's kind of one of my frustrations that I had when the trades were made, and I've said it a couple of times before. But when I've been, whether it was on Twitter or anywhere else that I've vented some frustrations, you always have fans that are like, "Well, what do you expect out of guys, who have 2 months under contracts?" At that point, I'm like, "Then why'd you trade them? Why'd you trade them if all you're going to get is a bunch of, you know, kind of a bunch of trash?" I mean, I sent you guys
The war
the
stuff.
the war for the from the D-backs. I mean, it's changed now. This was early in this week. It's gotten a lot worse. The war value for the guys who have been with the Diamondbacks, have been up in the major leagues that they traded for, is damn near a -2 war. So they've cost this
Point
team
two
about
or like full two.
almost two at this point. It's like
Okay.
1.8 or something like that. Negative war. And the positive war from the guys that they gave, like Merrill Kelly, Gino, everyone else, those four guys, I mean, it's same thing. It's a 1.5, 1.6 or something like that war. So you're talking about like a three war swing by getting rid of the guys that we did and taking on these guys. So
Yeah.
3 war swing, this team is at 500 or even better than 500. So that's the main thing that I was frustrated by, is just they sold them for nothing. And again, that's one of the frustrating things or frustrations that I had at the time, was just, if the best you're going to get is a bunch of guys who are never going to make the major leagues, who are going to be terrible, then don't trade them. Just keep going. Like most teams fall out of contention after the trade deadline. I mean, that's just the way it works. A lot of teams start to struggle after that. I mean, look at the Giants. Giants went all in. They struggled, and then at the deadline they sold. And so far, they have just haven't been all that good. The Reds went for it. They're still in the mix for the most part, but a lot of teams that went for it or just dropped out of the race completely. So that stuff was going to happen. Same thing with the All Star break when Hazen just called his team a seller at the All Star break. I'm like, if they would have kept everybody, it could have been the chance that they could be close to the Mets because the Mets really scuffled out of the break, and they could have had the opportunity there. And so seeing guys like Locklear just perform as terribly as they have, or even Burgos as well, has just been straight dog ass. Like so many of these guys that they traded for have just been terrible. I mean, can you name one guy that you're excited for or happy about at the major league level? Because the guys that keep being put in our reply as, oh well, look at this guy, he's doing good. Our guys are in single A or in double A. Like they're about a year or two away from being seen. But I mean, looking back, almost about a month now. Like, are you happy with the return? Are you excited for Locklear? Like, do you feel there's something there that might just need to be unlocked?
Not with Locklear, no. Personally, I think I'm not saying like he's a dud, like he's gonna be nothing, but I don't have a lot of confidence. It's the pitchers that we got that we've seen glimpses like how good Hoffman can be. Burgos has shown sign. Like for me, I think those guys, if they, especially if Hoffman can figure it out, because he did have like a couple of bad outings, but he also had some really good outings. I think he could be I think he could be a high leverage guy in this bullpen next year. Burgos, I don't know if he's going to next year. He's still pretty young and still has a lot of command issues. Like those two, I'm big on, and then Drake. Like I really want to see what Drake is like, Cole Drake. So I think what we got in return right now, yeah, it may not look like all that great because they're all really not performing very well. But before the break, our bullpen was so bad. Like it was just a bunch of journeymen and then Saul Frank. Saul Frank has been absolutely amazing. Like I am beyond speechless because like his curveball is truly special. Like if he can get guys to swing, even though they know it's coming, like they do, and he still makes them whiff on it. So um, I think the reason that they try to get a lot of these guys that could help the team now and next year is this team does not want to do a complete rebuild. But because they've locked up a lot of the core, so it'd feel odd that they have all these guys. Oh yeah, we're not competing for 3 years. So, and I think that's one of the biggest mistakes Mike Hazen made. And one of the biggest outliers from the 23 World Series run is it made us believe that we were close,
Hmm.
which we're not. Like, we got really lucky. We got really hot. You had a couple of guys play really, really well for about 3 weeks. So they thought, oh, we're close. We're really not. Like, this team, there's still a lot of things that they, like, starting pitching is a mess. Some bad signings. Some bad signings. Erod, that one's gonna be tough. Like, because what are you gonna do? You're gonna do the same thing you did with Madison Bumgardner? Like, are you gonna basically release him and then just eat that money for the next 2 years?
Yeah, it's 40 million too, I think.
Yeah, like it's a lot of money. Um, Burns was just that was just bad luck. Like that one, I'm not so mad about. Um, Luckily, we're kind of done with Jordan Montgomery, so we don't have to worry about that. Um, and then our bullpen, like literally, this offseason, what they need to do is address the first base situation. Like that needs to be done right away, and just go and sign like four closers, just just to be ready. Like Like,
Yeah.
I'm talking legit closers, not some guys that have done well in high leverage. Like, why couldn't we sign Aroldis Chapman? Everyone, go look at Aroldis Chapman this year. He is doing amazing for the Boston Red Sox. Ask Red Sox Nation.
Yeah.
She will agree with you. He's been amazing. Kenley Jansen. We could also went and got Kenley Jansen. He's been really, really good. I believe both of them are free agents this year.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the fan base was worried because they're like, well, we tried that with Mark Melanson. And I'm like, could it have been that way? It
No, I
also
mean,
could,
at the
could
time
not.
when the Diamondbacks signed Melanson, I mean, he was already throwing like 88 miles an hour. Like he could have been, into the DeLorean. That's how fast he
Chapman
was
still
throwing.
throws 102, 103. Like,
And then Jansen also has pinpoint accuracy. He's also throwing over 90 as well. Like, these were a couple guys that I felt were, you know, that should have been on this team's radar. I mean, I don't know about Chapman just because the domestic abuse stuff. So
she's like, stay away from Chapman. Sorry,
yeah,
like I didn't know if you were listening, but he's been really, really good.
yeah,
Like,
but that's the thing. It's like for me when I mean Red Sox Nation, you guys can keep that abuser. Like I'm fine without him, but a guy like Kelly Jansen, I think he could have been good for this team. And like I said, there is a hesitancy, but with Jansen, there wasn't that much decline in the last few years either, and he relies on that cutter and stuff like that. Guys who have those sort of nasty cutters like him, like Mariano Rivera, like there's guys who have that sort of movements on their pitches that they don't necessarily need 100 miles per hour or 95 or something like that. If they have the pinpoint accuracy with the 93, 92 with that nasty cutter, like that's enough to get them by. And that was the biggest issue that I think all of us had for the most part this offseason, that we all felt like they kind of just, I mean, we felt that bullpen was deep, but we all felt like there well, at least I did in my case, I felt like they should have gotten, an actual eighth inning or ninth inning guy. Um, I know we were going to rely on Puck and we are going to rely on J Mart, but I felt like if they're either one is unavailable, like who's coming out for that call, like if there's an extended series, and I saw this happen, and the biggest thing for me was seeing Shelby Miller come out and just get that out on Cattell Marte. Like
oh, could
that
tell.
should have been our guy right there, but
Yeah,
they wanted to save $2 million.
yeah.
So
That literally was
for
the whole
that
point of the
the low
of
price of
yeah.
$2 million, we almost lost that game. Oh, we did lose that game. Yeah,
We
we did
did.
lose that game. Yeah.
That was
So if
Tuesday.
they didn't have Shelby Miller there, who knows what could have happened? If the D-backs had Shelby Miller, maybe they'd be slightly better. He could have come into the ninth instead of, who was it that, or Murillo? Yeah, Shelby Miller could have gotten the ninth instead of Murillo, but instead we ended up dropping that game, and you know, it's just, I mean, when they win games like this, I'm always like, just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. Like I want to say it's over, and then they do something like this where they tie the series against the best team in baseball, and you're kind of like, is there something there? Like, could there be
Again, it's
something?
7 games. Like that's
It's
how.
it's 6.5, I think now. So
I
we're
well,
so much closer.
oh shoot, yeah, it is 6.5. So okay, a whole half game,
Hey,
but
we're
still.
we're almost there.
But yeah, no, but like go and look at the available free agents for relief pitchers for next year. Like there's some solid ones there that I wouldn't mind. Brett's brought it up. You can probably get him for really cheap, and that's Devin Williams. Like,
Yeah,
could it like that one right there? Like, maybe it's a American League, National League thing, or maybe it's just playing for New York type of thing. Um, Ryan Helsey, no, because his market value is 15 million. I'm sorry, you cannot spend 15 million on a
yeah.
31-year-old closer. You just can't.
I mean,
Like,
the only thing with a guy like Ryan Helsley, if it's a 1 year contract, I think that would be doable. The problem is when guys like Helsley, because of their age, and he is 31, but he's also not 35 or 36, where at that point you're just getting 1 year deals. Like he is still young enough that he can get 2 or 3 years, and there's no way the Diamondbacks are going to give him that, and I don't think they
Luke
necessarily
Weaver.
should. But yeah, Luke Weaver, I think he is in his 33 or something by now,
He is 32. His market value is at 10.6 though. Like
but that might drop a little bit because he did struggle and he did get injured as well. So could go a little bit lower
there's a lot of
as the
options
season.
there. Like there's a lot of options. Um, I mean, we talked about it this offseason. You were kind of hesitant on it. Kirby Yates, but the problem is he's 38. Like that's gonna have to be a 1 year deal, and hopefully he stays healthy.
Yeah, 'cause I believe he
Chapman's
hasn't pitched much this year
no
either. I think
correct. Yeah,
he was injured for a
he
lot of it. So
yeah. So there's like that for me. That's what Hazen needs to do. Like we need a legit bullpen, and then go ahead and sign 6 more guys for depth because we know we're gonna need it.
yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I know, this season, like, the team for the most part seems to be calling next season a loss as well. But I don't think they should count it as that, because since they've done all these trades, since everything since the deadline, they've been playing 500 ball for the most part. And you flip a couple of those games, especially the ones that the bullpen has blown, which we've seen time and time and again. There's just this month alone, like, they could be a few games over 500 with a decent bullpen. And so I don't think next season should be, a bust or just a rebuilding year. I mean, still have Perdomo, who we'll actually talk about right now, but Perdomo, Carroll, maybe Gurriel. We're not exactly sure on that. But Alec Thomas has taken a big step forward. Like, there's a lot of guys who have taken big step forwards, and who knows where we're going to get from guys like Jordan Lawler or Tommy Troy, even Waldschmidt. Like, there's
I'm Waldschmidt.
Waldschmidt is like
Is
knocking on the door right now.
dude. He might be your starting left fielder
Yeah.
next season on opening day. He's destroying it, and I'm like, Gurriel, why don't you just opt out, and that solves that problem.
I mean, that's 15 million that's coming off the books
Yeah,
right there that they could use for bullpen or for some other pieces. Um, but also Zach Gallen's going to be gone. Merrill Kelly. I mean, this team needs pitching in general. They need
I do.
a couple starting pitchers and they need bullpen help. I mean, most of these guys are on expiring contracts in the bullpen. Most of these guys aren't coming back. I mean, we have a couple guys that are going to be here, like Murillo, Saul Frank, Jarvis. Like, there's guys that are under control, but for the most part, a lot of the guys, in that bullpen are just going to be gone because a lot of 1 year deals, a lot of minor league contracts in there. But yeah, we want to get to Perdomo, give him his flowers because he has been an absolute tear. He didn't have the greatest game today. He went 0 for 5, but for the most part, since moving to that leadoff into that second spot, he has just been incredible, and I think he should be there going forward. I mean,
Yeah.
we mentioned at some parts during this season that he probably shouldn't be hitting ninth. Like, we understood why he was hitting ninth, but we all felt like he's a leadoff guy. He should be batting leadoff, and coming into next season, health permitting for everybody, he should be the leadoff hitter and have Carroll at third because this is a guy who's going to hit 30 home runs probably, and Cattell should be at the number 2 or even leadoff, just depending on how it is, because he drives in runs, he turns into prime Barry Bonds with runners in scoring position. I mean, his numbers are absolutely ridiculous. But I want to go through the WAR leaderboard. Can you name the top 3 guys in WAR
I
for F
mean,
WAR?
I looked, so I know
Oh, okay.
one's Otani, one's Witt, and then I think it's probably Judge or Raleigh.
I was looking at the NL. So number
Oh,
2 is Trey Turnip, but it's .2 WAR, and then Gerardo Perdomo at 3 with 5.6. So Perdomo has the third highest WAR in the National League, at least for, I believe it's just position players. I don't know if I see any pitchers. Oh, okay, yeah. So it's everybody, including Paul Skeens and everyone else. So he has the third highest WAR. And earlier, like on a shredder or something like that, they did the top 10 shortstops. Didn't even
he
include
wasn't on
Perdomo.
there.
I'm like, how do you have? There's 15 shortstops
Yeah.
in the National League, like, and they put all these guys there way ahead of him, and then finally, I mean, if Perdomo was playing in New York, he would be just they would be glazing on him so much, like the way they have been for guys like Lindor. Lindor is, I mean, he's had a decent year, but he's not Perdomo. And as of right now, I think it's him and Bobby Witt. They're the two best shortstops in the league. And at times, Perdomo even is a bit better than Bobby Witt. Just the thing is, Bobby Witt just has that power over Perdomo. But who knows with another step
And the
forward for
speed.
next season and the speed. I mean, he's amazing. I love Bobby Witt,
Yeah, he's
um,
freaking good.
but overall, I do think Perdomo should be in very serious contention for MVP this season. And I want to get your thoughts. I want to get the thoughts of everybody in the comments. Like, where do you see him finishing in the MVP voting? Do you think he might steal away votes from guys like Shohei Otani, or do you think maybe Otani's just going to run away with it, be the unanimous, and everyone else gets slim pickings?
I don't think he gets first place votes. I think right now after today. I think it's Shohei and Kyle Schwarber. I think those are the two front runners for MVP. Now I know everyone likes to bring up like WAR as that's like the be all stat to say how good someone is, and it's very misleading because defense is huge in WAR. Like it contributes a lot to it. So that's why PCA is at 5.6 as well. Like he's had not a very great second half of the year. Um, some will probably say because his team has a playoff spot, PCA is more deserving of MVP over Geraldo Perdomo. Because I guess everyone thinks, oh, MVP, your team has to be winning, but that's not always the case. Um, I just think I just think Perdomo just he does things that just don't show up in the box score. The fact that literally, I'm not sure. Was it Scott who brought it? Someone brought it up about basically he doesn't take off days. Yeah, here it is. Domo plays every game and doesn't need scheduled off days. You want to know why? Because there's nobody else to play shortstop. Like it, like Perdomo played a good portion of this year. I think it was a fractured finger. Like that, like we had a period of like 6 weeks where he didn't really look that great. He was playing with a fractured finger. Like he is different. Like there are some guys that don't play well when they're hurt, and Marte's one of them. Perdomo will play until he legit can't. Like he breaks or dislocates something. Like yeah,
I mean, we saw it last year when he injured. What was it? Was it the shoulder or like some sort of
knee.
hamstring?
There, it was something in his knee. I don't remember
Yeah, it was like a
what it was.
hyperextension or something like that. It was just like the first time he missed actual real time because when he first came up in 22, I mean, he just didn't really miss any games in 22. I mean, he took over for Nick Ahmed. 23, he was there the whole time. 24 was the first time he really got an actual injury, and he was only gone for a month too.
Torn meniscus
Yeah,
on April 7th.
and he came
And
back
yeah,
what May 15th or something like that. I mean,
yeah, he was out for quite a bit that year.
so at least comparatively to a lot of guys, I mean, he just stays on the field. I mean, he is Mr. Iron Man. We call him Frogman, but he's the Iron Frog or something because he just stays on the field. And I mean, the war and the contract.
Yeah, he was out till June 11th last year. So
Oof,
yeah, he
yeah,
was out for about 2 months.
yeah. This just, I mean, if there's, if he has a way he can stay on the field, he's going to do it as much as he can. But like we said, that's truly the only time he's ever really missed time. Justin here is asking, how far back are we from the wild card? We're 6.5 games
6.5.
right now. The Mets, so they sweep Philadelphia. They go back home, and they go back home. Did they go back home? They lose to Miami either way. So they sweep Philadelphia and they lose to Miami. So I don't know what's going on with the Mets. They are so hot and cold as well. So
You mean like
six and a
us?
half.
Like
Yeah,
that's
so
how
that's what I'm
we
saying.
have
Like
been all
they,
year.
at least they like put up a bunch of games early on in the season. So they've, for the most part, been coasting off of that. Um, but yeah, it's just Perdomo is just something else. I mean, this is a guy that when he first came up, we all kind of felt like this is our future. But we also knew like he shouldn't have been up anyways. Like he was only up here because Nick Ahmed was hurt for a large majority of the season. And I remember that season as well. Like when Perdomo wasn't in the lineup and they put Nick Ahmed. you can look at the comments. A lot of people were upset about that as well. There, a lot of people were like, "Just let him play. Like, just let him develop. We don't need to see Nick Ahmed anymore." Like, I think everybody,
431 at bats with an OPS of 547. He's still he was still walking at that point. So like he's
yeah.
always had a good eye for the play. He couldn't hit, and now like he just
But even then, at that time, the his average runners and scoring percent was still over 300 or something like that. Even at that time, and that's what was the biggest jokes at the time. Where it's just like, if we could just like hypnotize him to see runners in scoring position every time he goes up to bat, then
right.
he would be Barry Bonds. Um, but yeah, it's just Perdomo. Like, I mean, what else can we say about him this whole season? I mean, we've been glazing him, and we're just hoping the media
Got to put
eventually
that
glazes him.
C on his. He needs to get that C on his chest.
No, I don't
Like,
think the
come on.
Diamondbacks have ever
No,
done
they
that,
haven't.
right? They've never done that before.
A lot of teams haven't. Like for some reason, it's just not a thing that teams do.
Yeah,
But
not
like,
anymore. I mean that stuff came from the era of player managers,
yeah.
and we just haven't had one since what, the '80s or something like that. Like
Mhm.
freaking Bobby Cox or whoever was the last one or something like that. Just it's been a really long time. Or Pete Rose even. I think Pete Rose might have been one of the last ones. But yeah, Perdomo. I think this is something they have to do in the this offseason. They have to declare him captain. I mean, he should have been the captain maybe even last season. Um, 23, that one I think clearly was Longoria. For last season, I think it could have been and should have been Perdomo, and this season as well. Like they need to put him. I mean, everybody on the field knows he's the captain,
This is
but
actually really funny, Charles, because it's too hard to heat present on
he
the
press those
jersey.
jerseys. Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of posts like on Reddit and Twitter of people washing their jerseys and the lettering falling off. So
Well, yeah.
whatever they're
Well,
doing
you
there is
have
not
to.
working.
It's not necessarily washing them. You have to dry them correctly.
Yeah,
Like that. Like that's where it gets. Trust me, I had a lot of jerseys like 4 or 5 years ago that would last about a year, because I would just dry them like normal, and then I found out, well, if you air dry them, they last a lot longer. So now I've had the same jerseys for like 4 or 5 years now, and they look
yeah.
almost brand new.
Yeah, that's what
So
I do. I air dry mine. I wash them with the cold water and then I just air dry, or I even wash it by hand, just depending if it's just sweat instead of an actual like, I don't know, Coke stain or something like
yeah.
that. But yeah, it's just Perdomo. I think he should have been an All Star this season. He just wasn't, just because again the media and baseball fans just don't know ball sometimes. And I mean
Sometimes
they had
it's a
Mookie
lot more than
Betts.
that.
They had Mookie Betts like in first and voting for the longest time in that. And like Mookie Betts is trash. He was trash this season. I mean, he's been a lot better recently.
Yeah, last month
Um,
he's been better.
but that's something that we can talk about right here coming up, because the Diamondbacks, you know, we've mentioned it before. Either being 3 games behind the wild card or being at 500, we feel could at least bring this team close enough to not being completely out of the wild card contention. The first week of September, I do think this team ends this series and this month at 500. We can get a good 3 weeks or so where we're all hoping a little bit, like unless there's a typical Tory September collapse. Um, but I do want to bring up one more thing, and I want to get your thoughts on it because I didn't see any reporting on what happened, but Vargas yesterday, or was it yesterday? There's 4 games. Like it's hard to keep
Right?
track when there's 4 games. When he hit with it was yesterday. So when he hit with the bases loaded, with 1 out in the seventh inning, with Cattell on the bench, what were your thoughts? What was going through your mind when that happened? Do you think that was the right move? Did you think Cattell should have been brought in? Like, because there was no reporting, nobody interviewed, and nobody asked Tori. At least from what I saw, nobody had asked Tori about it after the press or anything like that. But at the time, I felt was. I mean, we've talked about it before. Like I said, we don't want to turn this into a Tory bashing session, but that's one of those decisions where luckily everything worked out, but that could have been probably the most costly decision of this series.
it just like we have discussed this a lot too. Where like, is he giving him a true off day or 3/4 of an off day? And so pinch hitting him in that situation is not giving him a true off day. So is it a rest day? Like that, like that's where I get kind of mixed on it. On it. I probably would have pinched hit him myself, personally, with how big of a moment that was. Like we needed a big hit in that situation. Again, Vargas has been okay. He's a decent role player, but probably should have pinched hit Marte in that situation. And then I saw some people say, "Well, he grounded it like it wouldn't have mattered. We still won, but we could have lost though." That's the thing.
It was a 1 run lead. Like it wasn't like this team was up by
And
four, five, six
if you're
runs.
confident in our pitching with a 1 run lead in the last 3 innings, you haven't been watching this team. Like
Yeah,
we have, I think it's 39 blown lead losses. Take 5 of those, we are 1 game back of the Mets right now. Just take 5 of them. Like that's what is so insane is that how bad we've been this year. We're right. We're really right there. Like you take some of those games. Like I'm not even talking about half the games. I'm talking about 5, which is what like 13, like 10 to 15% of them. Like it's such a small amount. We would be right there in the playoffs.
yeah,
Like making up 1 game in a month so much easier than 6.5.
yeah. And like I said, just I know there's been a lot of injuries, but again, every team has injuries. Every team has big injuries, and they keep winning. And I mean, sometimes the manager is responsible for some of those decisions. Like, sure, maybe, like, I don't think, like I've mentioned that radio interview with Hazen, like he says him and his team, they come up with the lineup. It's up to Torrey to decide yes or no if he's going to use that lineup, and we're just going to put everybody. Torrey has final say, but in this situation, it's not like Hazen is texting Torrey because we know they can't have cell phones in the dugout, and we know he's not calling him either, or else there'll be
I
footage of him.
think we may have a um. Wait, I think you're back.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I was just talking about Torrey. Like, he's not getting any signs from upstairs. Like, this isn't the NFL where he's wearing, you know, something a headset that connects him to the upper management or something like that. Decisions on the field are Torrey, and in this situation, that was just the wrong one. Like that could have cost him the game if the bullpen didn't do as good of a job that they did. And even then, like you said, a 1 run lead with this bullpen, like you're trusting them way too much, or you haven't seen enough games. But there was a situation where I felt Marte should have been in the game. Again, it all ended up working out in the end, but it could have so easily not, and this team could have been even further back. I mean, they could have been. We could be talking about them being 65-70 today, and at that point, then the season is wrapped. Like, there's no way they'd be able to come back from that. They're one sweep away from being back at 500, and it's just something that like I've been saying, I feel like maybe we should part ways with Torrey. But with Hazen at the helm, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But managerial decisions do matter a lot of the times, and this was one of them that I felt was just completely the wrong one. Everything else, something else, for the most part, is fine. Like a lot of the bullpen decisions, we don't always agree with them, but some of them are just like there's no more bodies back there. There's just not much you can do about it at times. But anyways, that was the Milwaukee series. They got 2-2, but they did win the actual season series. So
We do
for
hold the
what that's
tiebreaker
worth, they do
if we
hold the
ever
tiebreaker over Milwaukee. So if
if we ever get
Milwaukee
there.
has an epic collapse and the D-backs win their next like 26 games or something that are left, and Milwaukee loses all 26, the D-backs have a shot to take that title from Milwaukee. But coming up next, it's the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Diamondbacks made a cross country trip and are going to be playing in LA this weekend. The probables are Zach Gallen with the 5.13 ERA versus Blake Snell, who has looked very, very good coming off of the IL this season with a 1.97 ERA. This team really does struggle with left-handed pitchers. Then it's Erod with a 5.67 ERA versus Tyler Glasnow with a 3.36 ERA. Then it's Brandon Pfaadt with a 5.24 ERA versus Yamamoto with the 2.90 ERA. So a lot of Coughing Baby versus Atomic Bombs. I mean, this is just like Coughing Baby versus Godzilla. Like every single guy who's starting. Um, I don't necessarily like their chances just because it seems to be the big dogs. I'm a little upset we're not facing Kershaw because there's been a lot of hubbub about him being back, and I don't think he's faced the D-backs at all this season, right? It was like I was telling my brother, I feel like they've been hiding Kershaw a lot. He has faced a couple of good teams, but overall, he's been. I feel like they've been hiding him a lot from the actual great teams this season. So I'm a little upset that I can't see Corbin Carroll end his career again. But what are your thoughts? What are your expectations? Do you see them completing the sweep? Do you see them being able to take this serious, or do you think this is just going to be an easy 3-game sweep coming from LA and dashing all of our playoff hopes?
Let me see. Yep, nope. Kershaw has not faced us this year. I was just double checking his game log. I mean, he didn't make his season debut until May 17th. So, problem is the three starters we have going are our three starters with over 100 innings with a over 5 ERA. I don't. I have my confidence level in this is not great, and they have basically their three studs going against us. I won't be shocked if we get swept, like at all. Um, I'm very curious. As we discussed, Pavin Smith has his quad injury, went back to Phoenix, so I doubt he's going to be joining the team tomorrow. So it's probably going to be a roster move. Jordan Lawler was not in the Reno starting lineup tonight, so everyone immediately went to, is Jordan Lawler being called up? I personally don't think so because he doesn't play at first base. Like, that's why I don't think Lawler's going to be called up for this series. I think it was just an off day for him. Personally, I just it does like what are you gonna do? Like have Locklear play, but like you can't sit Blaze. Blaze has been playing so well lately, offensively and defensively. Like that's my thing is I want to see Lawler play, and I want to see him get consistent at bats. Is he going to play every day if they call him up? I personally don't think that he will. So I'm like, if you're not going to be playing him every day for the rest of the season, there's no reason to call him up. Now they could call him up on Monday when the rosters expand to 30. But I personally think if they do make a roster move, to be honest, it might be a bullpen arm. Wait, do we already have 13? I just realized that because I think you can't have more than 13 when the roster's at 26. I mean, we also didn't really talk about Rashi did a phenomenal job today. I mean, we sort of talked about it, but so we're at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're already at 13. So yeah, they can't call up another pitcher, I believe, until rosters expand on Monday. So I personally think if they make that roster move, it's going to be AJ Vukovic probably. That's just my personal opinion. Again, I wouldn't hate seeing Lawler called up. I just don't think he is going to, because I just right now I don't see how you play him every day. I just don't. Maybe righties you have him play third base, lefties you have Blaze play, or Blaze did play some center field in Reno this year, so maybe you get Blaze some reps in center so that he still can play
Yeah, I mean,
consistently. My only fear is if they bring up Lawler, you cannot sit Blaze for like 2 or 3 days because that's going to completely ruin what he's done because he's been so used to day in and day out.
yeah, I mean, there's ways that you can maneuver both of them. I mean, we don't have a first baseman. We technically do, but Locklear is just not it, like we mentioned before. I mean, Blaze. I mean, we know what Blaze is. Blaze has had enough time in major league level that we know what he is. He's not a main starter. He is a super utility guy. He's like Chris Taylor type.
Yeah.
That's what Blaze is, and that's what Blaze should be. He's not. You shouldn't be the starting third baseman next season. He shouldn't be the starting shortstop next season. Like he should be a guy that's going to be playing 2 to 3 times a week, but moving around the field. I think this might be the perfect time to test him out at first. Like if we're not putting ADC there, test him out at first, but also ADC. He's not getting enough at bats, I don't think. And in this series, he should at least get 2 starts at the DH with the Glasnow Yamamoto, but that's yet to be seen. But with Blaze, I think he's the guy that him and Jordan can, uh, split time at third base. So where one is playing 3 games at third, the other one's playing 3 games, whether it's the in outfield spot. I mean, they have uh, Blake Snell going tomorrow. Like that would be a good time. I mean, I don't think he's going to be brought up for this series specifically, but maybe September 1st. But in a situation like that where you have Snell coming up, I mean, you could put Alec on the bench, put Blaze at center. I mean, we know he has the speed for it. We've seen him, in the minors
He
play that center field
he'd have
position.
the best arm out of any of our outfielders immediately.
Yeah. So like you said, he does have a really, really good arm. So he could be dangerous in center field. I mean, we've seen that change happen. I mean, look at guys like Tatis, like the guys who play shortstop, they can move to an outfield position. A lot of them do have really good success out there because they have a great arm, they have great eyesight, and they just have the speed to play in the outfield. And I think Blaze could be an option for that. I mean, again, I think he should be a guy that should be on this roster going forward as a super utility role. Like guys can get 3 starts every week, but again at different positions. And I think this would be the perfect time to maybe just try him out in the first base position. He's not huge, but he is. I believe it was 5'11", only like an inch shorter than Christian Walker. It's not like Christian Walker is the tallest guy ever either. So you could try him out there, check him out, see how he performs. Um, because let's say he performs really well at the first base spot, who's to say he can't, stay there at least for the rest of the season, have Lawler at third. Like, if this is going to be a wash season going forward, then guys like Jordan Lawler, guys like Blaze, guys like ADC, these guys need reps, and they need them now because this team can go into February next season not knowing who's the backup catcher, who's the first baseman, who's the third baseman, who's the left fielder, who is, the DH. Who you need guys to get these reps now to know what you have on this roster because if Locklear continues to underperform and gets worse and worse, he's not going to be he's not going to be the opening day starter at first base for next season. So you got to know what you have and what you don't have. And I think bringing up Lawler is a perfect opportunity for that. I do think there's a way that, because like I said, he can start 3 games at third base and then maybe DH. So that way you're giving him, relatively consistent at bats at the major league level. Because I know a lot of people say like, where are you going to play him? But he can switch spots with Perdomo can DH, Cattell can DH. Like there's ways that you can move him around the field as well. Get him comfortable at second, get him comfortable at short, get him comfortable at third base, and you can just move him around. Like there is enough, enough people that can move around on this team that he can get 20 at bats a week instead of the 19 that we saw him, in that month that he was brought up. So hopefully he's brought up. We can see him at the major league level and see, if he's for real or not. Again, he's still really, really young. He's still not the age that Corbin was when he was brought up that first time a few years back. Like, you can't call a guy a bust who's, only barely 23 or 22.
Also, hasn't
like,
even had 100 at bats. Like, how can you call
yeah,
a guy a bust? Like, I'm sorry, you can't.
yeah. So hopefully we're gonna get some news tomorrow. Probably early in the morning, if not the afternoon. Some of the seeing who was brought up, whether it's the minor leaguers or whatever for Pavin Smith, see how long he's going to be out. If he's going to be out for the rest of the season, or it's just a week or two, and then see what they do with that, and then who gets brought up. Like I said, I do think it should be Lawler. If not, then they have a couple guys down there that can probably come back. There's that Colby. I can't remember the guys. He was only up here for like a week as well. Like he plays second base. Like there's a couple guys that could come up. But again, I do feel like maybe Lawler should be that first guy, or they can even bring up a guy for the bullpen. The bullpen was heavily taxed in this series, so if they need an extra arm in that bullpen, just
I
put up
don't
with.
believe on Friday they can. You can't have more than 13, and they're at 13 pitchers.
Um,
So
all right,
they
so yeah,
can't
so
do it until
it would need a
Monday.
position player, yeah. So it would need a position player at least for this series. So we'll keep an eye out. Hopefully, get some good news. Hopefully, this team's able to come into LA and sweep them. I don't feel comfortable saying that they will, or even saying that they're going to win the series. But I'm hoping guys like Perdomo go off. I'm hoping guys like Corbin go off. Cotel has been struggling a little bit lately, but maybe the bright lights in LA can help him come back around. I'm excited to see Alec be able to build off of what he did. This is just the main thing is just the starting pitching. Gallon, Fod, and Erod, like the three worst pitchers in the National League right now. Not even the National League, probably all of baseball. Top 5 worst pitchers are going to go in the series, and we'll see what they do. Hopefully, we come back on Sunday and we're able to give everybody some good news, and maybe they're at 500. Maybe they're 4 games behind the Mets in the wild card standings instead of 6.5. We just don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it should be a good series either way. Not a lot of time left. There's this is go time. If the Dbacks want to be in any way competitive, these are the games that they have to take, and they have to take them now because they dropped these next 3 games, and I think at that point it's just a wash, and the season I think is over at that point. But any final thoughts that you want to say?
One player maybe they bring up tomorrow, Ivan Melendez.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't hate that. He can play first base. He's had 59 at bats there in Reno. His OPS is at 904. Like, I know it's a small sample size, but he's really cut down on his chase rate. Like, he's really cut down on it. So I wouldn't mind whether that's tomorrow or even on Monday when we can get up to 28. So I think we'll see what they do tomorrow. It probably depends on how severe the Pavin injury is.
Yeah.
I know that we do have 2 other first basemen on the roster right now, and James McCann and Vargas. But I'm like, I don't feel great putting another catcher at first base. Because there could be a chance we could have a lineup one day with all 3 catchers in the lineup with Gabby, McCann, and ADC, which I'm like, I would rather have one guy on the bench in case something happens.
Yeah. So I want to thank everybody coming in here. Scott, Disruptive, Justin, Charles, Corbin Barrels, Red Sox Nation. I believe I said Charles Elliott. I'm not sure if I did. Is that it? So I want to thank everybody for coming in here. We will see you guys Sunday, hopefully with some better news, and hopefully Brad would be back by then. But I want to thank everybody and have a good weekend, or have a good 3-day weekend. Most
3-day
people
weekend for most people, yes.
Have fun. Bye.
Under the lights, the game goes down. Desert heat, but we own this town. Brandon Gabe on the call, with Josh in the back, bringing it on.